So the thing that I had up before, um, I will skip those up. Maybe not this one or this one, but that one. Let's go to go. I'm going to have fun with that forever. It's so bad. It's almost good. Go. Scan go. So, hmm, time go. What did time hop to this for? Oh, I know. Because all of these are mains, and that's my problem with it. As we're in a Git repo, it kind of wants only one. So we'll keep popping up errors, though it's actually nothing wrong with it. So this tiny scanner works for it doesn't you don't ever get any errors, but as we generate go routines for all the parts and then we'll listen to the messages, we will have like 65,000 possibly of these, right? So we need to make a better way of doing this. I tried making a channel of 500 max. So that didn't do anything. So we can undo that. Let's F5 it. See if it works. Right, we need arguments. Yeah, we have a default one. Forgot it. It's very quick. So, mostly Git in here. That's usually what I use my PowerShell prompt for. And here we have the run go. Run go. Go run, I should say, right? Go run. 0 to 65,000. 61. 61 is this machine, so it's not a good test. It's not friendly. I mean, it's not like let's just do 1. Okay. I didn't click on purpose. It just happened. That's kind of quick, right? So this happened to be correct. I think. Let's actually do bits instead. So let's do to 10,000. And then we do like 2 to 3. And we can even use, say, port that doesn't exist, and not allowed. So we will do like up to 7,000 later. Because you get an error from those saying this is not an OK port. And on errors, I don't do anything. It's just a different error than the normal one. So we don't really need to care about that for now with the simple thing. So if we were to have another port open, so I'm thinking, what could I possibly do? We can use another computer. Let's set up a VM and like open some port or something. We can use a Kali VM, and we can just listen with Netcat on several ports. That will be good. Let's see what it says about that. Here you can see that it just gave the same error message, right? Or no ports. And if we did then like 0 to this, we get all the 5 ones quite quickly. But I think that um, it actually only, if I print all of them out, it does like 15,000. And I'm not exactly sure about if it was exactly 15,000 because you don't want to read 15,000 lines, right, of output. But it's easy to just have a debug. This verbose here, we set it to verbose. And we save this. And we go run it again. And we're not going to do it here because it will be horrible to scroll. So obviously because I have OBS in there too, right? I think so at least. uh, Public programming go, and no LA because I need one. So scan. We also have a compiled one there, crazy big, 3 MB. Yeah, they're crazy. So go run. Nah. So now we should have error messages for all the lines. An operation on a socket could not be performed because the system lacks sufficient buffer space or because the queue is full. Invalid port. So, right, we will have to output this into something because the target machine actually refused it. So here are some correct ones. So we end up here in 14,000. So do we have all the lines? No, we only have. Here we have some. As you can see, this is also 15,000. Right. And then we're 53, 43, 75, 59. A connection attempt failed because the connection party did not properly respond after a period of time, or established connection failed because connected host has failed to respond. But I saw other ones. This has actively refused it. The other ones are gone from the history. The ones which said it was like busy, right? So I would like to T this, but we're in PowerShell, so I don't know. Should be Google. Uh, T PowerShell, right? There's a T object. There's T. So give me an example. Get process T file path. So we can do that, right? So let's pipe it to T instead. I was thinking we can just put it in a file, but I do want output to. I could have not copied the last character there, right? Output.txt. Or on Windows, we will use .txt, I guess. So, it's not like I care about the space, but go run and all ports, including ones that doesn't exist, right? So we should get the not an OK port number message too. And we should get all the things because system lacks sufficient buffer, right? This is what we see a lot, but we didn't see it because it was too early. I kind of can see the number. I think we're on 60,000 now. And now we're receiving the messages back. And we're getting the last ones. The invalid port number for 65 to 70,000. So now we can look at this. We're not going to type it because it will still overflow. So where do we open it? I guess this is a good choice, right? Will we crash the computer? Nah. So we get a confirmation of what machine and what ports we're asked to do, and starting scan of ports. Uh, requested address is not valid in its context. So we're not getting any error messages here. First, when we get to 16,040, we start getting the errors. So let's I guess we can make this tinier. Oh, whatever. Control scroll didn't work, so Control Shift scroll worked. So we're still not seeing the full lines. There. No, so it just moved within this. Okay. Yeah, so it can't do it. Okay, just accept, but Shift scroll is this. Okay. So we don't see error of. So this is a whole error message of the error. So all of these, you can see the change there. System, why did it change? So I'm just paging down, holding the button. So we're 10,000 lines down. I'm gonna fall asleep. So we need to do it better. It's like we already knew this, right? Actually, oh, we got some other output here. So we got an invalid port for the ones that are not correct ports, which is right. So we're going to do like 10,000 ports now and see if we get errors. I'm just curious how much buffer space. Then we have more invalid ports. Yeah, so you can't do 65,000 things at once with no delay. If we put a delay, which we don't want to.
Hydrate. Hydrate. Hydrate.
Okay, I'll hydrate. Thanks. So, let's keep going down. Still the same error. So we didn't see them at the end, right? Oh, so now we're getting to the ones who actually have an actual answer. Uh, Still buffer here. So from these are the first ones, the lowest port numbers, and they're kind of answering in different times, right? We know how quickly these are the actual correct not opens, right? So we could count how many of the different errors we got, but as the error contains the port, they would all be different. So we'd have to like cut that out of it. If we would have to check for if it contains this, like we could do that easily. Um, so we could just count the different errors. Uh, like, uh, why think about it and not do it, right? So we can always know how many errors we got that were actual errors. Scan. I always think that the bright light ones here, not the dark one, is the one that's active. So I clicked on the one that was already active. Didn't read what it said. So, 6 hours and 56 minutes. Um, so this is where we print the error, meaning we don't want to do this only for variables. We want to always do this. So we want variables that are generally available that we can count up. And this is the string that we want to match. And why did I do that? Something is off with my keyboard. So, why did I get Japanese keyboard? Okay, I want Swedish keyboard, thank you. Don't ask me why. So I deleted one of them and both were deleted too. So apparently this is underlined. It's not used. Yeah. So it's not actually an error. This would compile fine. It's just that it's a warning that it's not used. I don't think those should be squigglied. Maybe. Maybe it's good debugging. Though I don't want it to squiggly that we have a million mains because this is a directory with a million mains in. Tiny programs to test and learn stuff. So, closed account plus, all right, uh, actually, like if. With the if syntax, we can see it just above there. If dot is open. Ah, uh, if new message dot problem. We don't have a lot of things here, right? And I would kind of reverse this and do in. It was like Python. So I'm kind of thinking Go seems similar except for the OPs. But I don't know how Go does that yet. Haven't learned that much. This is the fourth time we do Go. So um, in string Go, string contains. Okay, strings contain. Strings is what? Is it several strings? Strings is what we include. So it's a function and we have two. Okay, I thought it would be dot on the string. Maybe you can. Still strings dot contains. Yeah, and all of them are like that. Is that the only way to do it? str substr string. So this is what we need. The full thingy. But let's just see if we get something else too. Uh, maybe this one. So I'm looking for quicker versions of it. I don't think there is, right? So, uh, and this is too smart, really, because when I do this, and I'm going to save now, Control S. No, so far it's just added stuff. So you don't need to actually add it. It's by default, I'm thinking. Or maybe since we have strconv in there, it's included in there. That's for converting ints to strings, strings to ints, I guess. We're using that. So if this contains this, then we bird wings. and we're going to fmt dot printf. No, we're not going to do that. We're going to do that later though, so we can save it. So I did copy that variable. I guess that's what the name I called it. So plus equals. We tested just by chance and it works there. So it's like, so far for me, Go feels like a mix of a few things. Tiny, tiny little C, but mostly Python, very similar to Python and a lot of things. Except that we use bird wings instead of positioning. But I think also positioning, because in C we could have just put all the lines after each other with semicolons, you know? So let's make it. And we can make this just this is not like a pretty program. So var is what we use to make ones here, and we could do bird wings with that. And this one is supposed to be, so we did like int, right? And then we could probably do this. Is this correct syntax? So I get a squiggly on here. Let's add another line here and another one. Oh, this is totally wrong. Why do I have no? Because I copied it. Yeah, this is not what I wanted. So I can't have that there. I guess I do it again. It was just, yeah, that's what I wanted. I was just afraid we would have too many things there, right? No, why am I on that again? Did I? I'm like blind, right? There, that's it. And we want what more code? Uh, this is an actual error count. Let's give it something more descriptive, right? Let's call these the close one refused. Refused count. That's more actually refused count. Refused count. And if, and this will be so similar to the one before, so we just copy it. And I'm gonna grab from this file this thing. Um, and if I scroll down, we all of these. There we go. The connection failed because the connected party didn't properly respond. These, let's just grab a number here, right? First of all, let's do the simpler one. I think they were, well, like here somewhere. Oh right, that was a problem. Yeah, invalid port. So let's grab a count of those two. So invalid port is like the last one we should do. Um, I'm thinking, but it doesn't matter for now. Why did it hop all the way there? And yeah, now it worked. So I switched keyboards again here by mistake. It was because I was clicking Control Shift and Alt together with scrolling and trying to make the text size change. Uh, uh, Invalid port count refused. Uh, I think refused will be enough with one word. And I think I have a syntax error here. Let's grab this line here. I don't know. This was only for the output. So we have some simpler goes here, but we have one for variables. Var name int equals. Yeah, so I'm right. And here's when it's grouped. Name type equals value. And this looks funny in here. Oh, yeah, we want that one in there, right? So I don't like it when it's not opening in a new tab here. So let's just equal 0 this one too. And I think we don't even have to add this equals 0 because I know that in Go that's the default in Go. Because they always initialize the variables. I guess like Python too, right? So the red little dot there is that we have a squiggly here. Expected indent. I'm curious what this is. Expected ident. I guess we open the variables one in a new one. Here's the block. Oh, it's parentheses, not squigglies, not bird wings. That's why. Okay. So it would be more logical for me to have bird wings here, but it's parentheses. Oh, why? Why choose to have parentheses? And what is the thing that could be put here to make this in the same line? Is there something like that? If you know, go tell me. I'm curious. Um, so we started looking at the Go page and grabbed some basic info on how it works, you know. And then we started making this thing. And why did this one again get removed by this? So let's just error. So yeah, that's not where I'm going. I'm going here. At what places do we print errors? Is it more than one place? This is why it's nice to have a file lab, and now we can search for this. Let's do this one. 6509, right? So we find there's just one of them. Okay. So we don't get all, we get a one per line. That's what I thought, right? But it doesn't really compute. That's the way it is in my brain too. So let's just add others here. This. Okay, first one first, so it doesn't do that. This is one error that we get. Um, I'm like, how do I fix this the easiest way? Go through it all again. We already did that, right? So we have the invalid ports. Then we have the no connection could be made, and these are the refused. We already have those. Mm, sure. Connected party did not properly. Uh, so these are timeouts. So let's do it the correct way now, right? So a connection attempt failed. The connect did not properly respond over a period of time. Or establish a connection failed because the whole host connected host failed to respond. So uh, this is insufficient buffer. So in so and buffer, and this one is uh, timeout, and we need to add count to both so we can count how many of them there were. So, and then we just copy this thing and paste it twice. But I kind of think invalid port, that means it's too high, right? So if we grab this one, which is timeout, which is a nice logical correct error kind of thing, right? A timeout is supposed to be a thing that can happen, and it's not like we did the program wrong, right? And uh, now we're getting a switch thing, right? Uh, timeout count is supposed to be there, and we also need to set it to 0 and make it so refused timeout, refused timeout, invalid port. So the error one, we're getting rid of this, and we're going to add a line here for the other one. So low battery. That means I've run out of both of my ears. Battery. It removed the tab there. I'm doing the equals 0 because I think it's prettier, even though it's also already happening. So let's just grab that and there. So we have the long strings that we get. Uh, these are logical and reasonable that we can get refused. It's closed, and we can get timeout. It didn't respond that it is closed, right? Um, and then we have the ones that's actually an error. The buffer didn't work. We couldn't do this. So lacked sufficient buffer space. Queue full, right? And then we have the use told me to check port 80,000 that doesn't exist, right? So this is also like a correct thing. This is the one we want to really know about. But I'm thinking we want to print them all. And it maybe it's not like a print result thing. That's pretty and like a part of the scan result. But this is like a debug thing. And therefore I will just put it straight here. So let's make it obvious that it's debug. And in here we'll do print. Uh, right, so the printf ones need a backslash ends, or they won't do the thing. Or we do print lines, but I kind of want all the same, and we will have formatted on some of them, so it looks prettier like this. So this will also be a backslash n, and then we're going to, we have 4 values to print, and so I'm not 100% sure about the syntax, but I'm going to add the percent something too. It's probably, my brain says percent %t. We'll see if it's correct, right? So, and I could have added that at once. So we have our debug information here. And as the names of the variables are quite okay. Uh, I kinda want to save this output too, so let's just see what's the problem. Uh, I'm just totally out of, yeah. So this is what I should have printed. So my brain said it's something like this, but it didn't remember this darn FMT and cases. And also the variables might maybe I should do camel case, but I think this is easy to read like this at least. I don't remember what I read right. So the names of the functions that are like external, which we don't know anything about yet, but they're supposed to be uppercase first letter, and the internal one's lowercase. So that's why the functions that we use that are external on their part, they have uppercase. So, but we should use lowercase for things. But we shouldn't do this, I guess. This should be lowercase and big R here. So, um, so new message problem. So we have a squiggly. What's a squiggly for? Um, what I'm thinking. Oh, why did that happen? So we can print it, but for some reason we can't compare to it. So town str sets equals instead of var because we're in a function, and then we do this thing then, and put it there, and then this is not in use, so we're going to copy it and put it here, and that will work. But will it work here? No. So it is not actually a string. It is the type of error, right? So how do we make it a string? Yeah, we can see there it says error. We're not setting the type, it's by default it's going to error because new message is error. New message is scanned port and the problem is error. So how do we convert this to a string? Convert error to string. Convert error to string. Go. So get an error message in a string. That's kind of what we want, though. It's just error string. I kind of thought of something right now. So what if we say, those pop-ups, that's Visual Code's a bad thing. So what if we say this is a string, right? And then it will tell us, you can't do this. Can you quick fix this? Expected semicolon. So we're going to do var here instead. And now this is the problem. Variable of interface type error has string value in variable declaration. Yeah, so this is what we need to fix. And field problem error. So error and error. Yeah, and then they say this doesn't work. Error's new and error. No, we want a string, not an error. So how do we convert? They do again. Error's new. They want to use string function. I'll do with this variable. That's why. FMT error. V prints the value of EX for strings. If it is a string for errors, error method for scroll the thingy here, it's black. The string for stringer plus string. stringer. I don't know what RF, FMT RF. So yeah, here they have the actual thing we're doing. FMT sprint error. So we can just sprint. So as I don't think I want this in this I was thinking we might do that, but it's not pretty. What do you think? I don't think it's pretty. We just do it in one place at least. So now we just fix these. Yeah, and I could have done them all at the same time. But this was easier. So um, so we want the output, but we also TF file. And we're going to output 2 now because one other one left is to compare to. Scan go
Pro
and the
says,
IP.
"Hello, what are you doing?"
Hello, we are making a port scanner, but currently we're just adding information about what messages we get on the screen here. So it will be kind of quick. So we're currently
Nice,
just,
let's go.
yeah. So currently we don't have any functionality for it not to send all the things at once. So we're just sending 65,000 and we get errors. So right now, just before we fix it, I want to have like it listing how many of every error type we got so we can see. So it's currently like
You fixed
increasing
that?
variables. Yeah, so it's using the Go routines. So it's insufficient buffer count 49,000. So this is about the ones I thought. So we got 260 timeouts, refused counts. I've just if this it contains the string, the error message.
Nice is go resource intensive.
I don't think so. I think it seems smart. Stuff that's bad, like Discord, which I have on actually, it kind of crashes my computer. So if it doesn't crash my computer, it's good. So we did to up to 7,000. That's why we get this port count or invalid ports, right? Because this is what I run from 0 to 70,000. And also the first one, this is why we used. I found T out of it. I was like, yeah, I'd like to T this. If this was Linux, I would T it. And what's T? Uh, so found it. So now let's actually close this file so we don't have both mega big files up at once. Uh, right. So we need this one too. So of course we shouldn't have 0 in there. So
And
I
how
want
you're
this
checking
error
if the
too.
port exists based on the banner.
No, there's actually an is open thing that is special. So these are all the errors. Um, I'll show you the code. It's very short and nice. So this is was for only for 0. It is not a valid address in this context, which is nice that it has a special thing for that. Let's add it, and we can even have it will always be one count, right? Uh, uh, bad context count.
I am getting an ad.
Okay, good. I'm typing. So
I am back.
okay, welcome back. So this is the only thing I'm doing here, checking these. Uh, this is the it's open, and if it's not, it's open. Let's show you what's in this new message. Uh, so we just do. I'll do all of it soon. Let's just finish this, printing this. So, because I kind of lost track. Yeah, I did paste that.
From scan port, you're getting message channel field,
Yeah, let's just see. So I
which is
finished
assigned a new
this.
message.
I finished this. Yeah, so I finished all the things except for the output. That's what I was doing. So let's just paste that and copy this one. And so,
But message channel field, what value does it hold?
uh, let's. So I'm not expert. This is my first time looking at anything Go. So we started with basic like variables and stuff here. Now it messed up that one again. Let's come back to output two. So now we have lots of these variables, and we have lots of. No, it added strings by the way. So I decided to do it itself, which is nice. So we have a struct called scan port here, where it saves the port if it is open and if there's a problem, the error, right? And then we have these variables that are only for counting the types of errors we get. So that's like most of the code so far. Uh, and this is parsing arguments, so it's not really any logic in there. It just gives us uh, like port and IP ports to scan. Um, so the scan port one does. So I don't remember really. I had to read it myself. So host, string, port, and message channel. Yeah, right. So we have added the message channel. So there. Sorry, it just died. So I have problems with my computer, and I've been sick, so I haven't fixed. I need to like reinstall it and fix some stuff. I still have a hard drive laying on the floor next to it, and I won't probably have time this weekend. We'll see. Maybe we'll do it on Monday, like stream from my phone and fix the computer or something. We'll see if I have time. So let's continue remembering this. Right, so we do net.dial TCP, and then it wants it in this format, the host and the port, the things we have sent in, and then we do a conclose if there was no errors, and then we send back to the channel. As this is started with a go, the Go routines. So we send back the port and the if it is true or false, if it actually was open, right? So and it sends error. So this would be nil then if this one, you know. So if it connected, this will be nil. And let's see here. Uh, Error equals, yeah. So that's what this
I
sends
see.
back. So we just get an connection and an error. We're not doing anything with the connection because we're not actually connecting. We're just closing it. And the error, that's what we still have left. So I was thinking of not sending this along as it's kind of obvious, right? But it's kind of nice to see it like just is open here. So uh, if the port was open, but we could have just grabbed that from here too. So it's just to have it prettier. But now we added so much things there
Nice
for this is
script.
debugging, just debugging. Oh, thank you. So this is just debugging, and we're trying to learn how it works and what error messages we get. The thing that is not nice. Let's see where it is. Yeah, right. Of course, here. This is what is not nice. So what do? We have 70,000 now because I did 0 to 70,000, so we're 70,001. But just for testing to see what happens if we do like ports that are not there. We can try minus ports to see what happens. Anyway, um, it runs it with Go, meaning
Do you
it
do any
creates a
web app
Go
stream
routine.
sometime web app pen test?
Uh, no, because I'm still learning stuff and I'm starting to look for jobs, but I have not actually done an actual pen test because I don't have a job yet. So I'm looking. Uh, yeah. So we can try like stuff, right? We can do web app
You
stuff.
have OSCP?
No, no. But I don't think I will
Any
get any
cert?
certs either. But also OSCP is very expensive. So if when I get a job, if they say like go get the OSCP, I said yeah, sure, yeah, pay and I'll do it, you know. So but also I need to dig into AD stuff more before I would try that. So we're actually doing AD stuff actually.
Because you seems to have a lot of knowledge.
Thank you. So I worked in as an IT specialist for like 20 years. So I have a lot of like background and I started programming when I was like 11 or something. So I have that knowledge behind me, you know. So learning a new language, it's not a big thing. It's like I knew there would be a function to compare to see if it whatever it
But
was
how come you
called in
didn't find a
this.
job yet
I haven't been applying
with all this
applying.
experience?
So currently I've been home with my kids a lot because they have special needs. So that's why I went. I've been working, but I have been working for my own company with like
Oh,
some
that's
random
why.
things. Yeah, yeah. So that's why. Um, but like since I know programming, I know it will be some kind of contains or in string or something to check if a string in is in another thing. So I just Google for that. In string go, and we found this at once. You know, so it's as long as you know a language, you can just easily find stuff. And I just tested plus equals, and it worked. Um,
Yes, that's true.
but what I don't know, if someone knows Go, how would I put these two lines on one line? I can Google later. But it's not
Like
like,
even the parenth.
yeah, so I did a few. There's actually in my notes now, my notes are public. There's some basics. Here, so we have basics. Let's look at this in Obsidian instead, because this is Obsidian notes.
Print
So,
from C.
yeah, yeah, exactly. But it's, so I typed actually printf, all lowercase
Print on
now.
from Java.
Yeah, yeah. So it's all like merging together, and it's a lot of it is like Python too, I think, but it's not supposed to be object oriented. But I don't know enough yet to know what it does instead. Let's just see if I can find this. So I reorganized my notes, so I don't remember all the time. I forget that the programming is actually
Oh,
over
it's
the
not OOP.
tools. No, it's not OP, and it's I started with both Rust and Go, so we'll have to continue Rust too. It's just stuff you need to know, right?
Why is
Uh,
it better than Python?
because it's a compiled language, and yeah, it's good to know. Yeah, so I'm making a. I keep saying I'm making it, but it's kind of paused. I'm
So
making a
it's
Python
faster.
course. Yes, it's very much faster. That's it. So for making a port scanner, if you did it in Python, it wouldn't be optimized at all, right? Um, yeah, let's see here now. Where's Go? Go, go, go. I'm blind. I'm
I
really
see in
blind.
Rust.
There's Python again, that's why.
What about Rust?
Yeah, so Rust, we just did like half a web page, so it's really empty in here. So we have some links, we have a bit of information about variables. This is how far I got. So, but I don't want to mix them up too much. Now we really started with Go because someone suggested it. So that's why we did Go first. So here in this one we have the basics, and I see something.
It'll leave you. ILL go study as well.
Look what happened here. This one is reset. So they're supposed to
It
be
was
Go
nice speaking to
files.
you.
Okay, okay. Thank you for being here. Welcome back anytime. So we have information here. So if you want to learn it, learn Go, you can just read these and get the basics without having
See you
to
next
look at
time.
anything else. Yeah, see you next time. So we have the basic structures. I checked these things out before there.
It's in your GitHub.
Yeah, this is on my GitHub. So I can do GitHub.
Can you send this link?
There. And also a not that updated version is available on my web page.
Thanks.
So if you go to fixitfor2.com notes, but if you click files in here, I did click. It's just slow. If you click documents that are not MD files, it will try and download them. So if we go for something like Go here, Go is not even in here because it's too new. We have the Rust. I don't think I have any files in there though. Let's click a Python script. So I need Python file. Gosh. Now I'm curious. Yeah, here we have Py. So let's click this one. And it wants to download it. So I need to fix this in some better way. I would like it to open here. So I need to get a better exporter from Obsidian for the nodes. Ah, maybe I'll just, that's actually a GitHub project. So I can make a request there to add the feature. Or maybe we'll make it. So here's where we found the contains when we searched. And we found T. So let's go back here and check the output here. And I added this one as I had not done that before. Then we have all the error messages here, all of the different types. And at the end we can see this. And let's now run it again. Let's make sure that we have saved the file and hop over to this and just run it again. So let's do 3 as the output. And now we should have 5 lines there if we didn't do a syntax error. So again, 70,000 rows. Maybe I should change it to at least a 66,000 a long way. So it's finished. And of course, this is always 1 since this is a 0, right? We do 0 to 70,000. Uh, yeah, I really need to do minus now. So we have refused count. We have timeout count. We have let's actually we have open ports. This between the dashed lines, these are just our debug output. Okay. So I'm going to actually change this now. Let's do minus 15 to 70. So I think we got invalids for those, right? I think I'm like should have cleared the screen here. So we get invalid part. These are invalids. 0 is the only one that's actually valid, but not in this instance. That's why we get not valid in this context, right? So these will get invalid. Now we have tested it, right? And all of these, they're closed. So actively refused. So we got 0 timeouts, we got 0 insufficient buffer count, and we got 15 invalid because I did minus, which is not a thing. So let's do from 1 to 1,000 and see what counts we get. This is why we do this. This is the reason why. So we got refused plus scans. This is no errors. They're all either closed. Should I say like something in the text there? If the bad context is, I should probably move it closer to invalid port count because it belongs there, right? So it's really just the output we need to change. So this is an error that is mostly probably only error 0, port 0, right? Is there something else that we would like to test? Let's try all the ports. And this refuse is actually closed. And then the timeout is when we don't get a reply. So in this case, it's probably because we're spamming it with so much traffic, right? So or like poor network. I wonder if my family has any problems. You can all guess what Dr. One is, right? So you need to go check on the family. I'll be right back. I checked with them too if the network was working fine. Though we're streaming, right? So if it suddenly dies, then I know why. Nah. So let's do a few other scans. With these short ones. Right, we shouldn't overwrite out the output file. Let's skip the T. Um, so this is 1,000 ports. If we do 1,000 to 2,000. So we got only refused ones. And I'm kind of assuming it will be the same, right? So if we do from 1 to 10,000, let's kind of assume it will be the same still. So we'll see. Yeah, so that works too. I think it's about 15,000 that we start having problems. So now we have timeouts. We start getting timeouts here. So what if we up this a little bit more and do 20,000? Not 30, 20,000. So it does take a little bit more time. I don't know how much of that is just printing stuff. Uh, so now we got a insufficient buffer. So I said it was something with 15,000. So this plus this, but we still have a few timeouts here. I don't think the timeout amount compared to the last one was very big. But what was the timeout of this? So when we did 70,000 ports, including ports that don't exist, then we got 260 timeouts. So we can't have either timeouts, so these two should be always 0. Uh, and this is if we print double stupid numbers that don't exist. And also the same with the 0 one, which is special, right? So if we do, again, it's 0 here, and do to 20 to have a very quick one. 0 to 20. Um, so we get a bad context count. So I didn't save the file because I moved that, didn't I? So let's run it again to get it moved to the right place. What did I do? I think I moved something. Oh yeah, I'm just language confused. I did that last time too. Too much Python in my brain. So I did Python comments in Go code instead of C comments. So there, we got the bad context count, 0 from 0. And then we got closed. So if we do 1 to 100, we don't get the bad context. And we got 3 open ports, 97 closed. Maybe I should call it refused connection count. Though these are just debugging messages, but I kind of like having that. I didn't actually copy this first, so we should have done that. Refused connection count. And I probably should change those two. Let's just save and run it once more with this tiny scan, making sure that it works as it should. So 3 open parts. So now we need to fix the 15,000 barrier, which is amazed. I'm so amazed that it can do 15,000 ports, or at least 10,000 with even a timeout, right? Let's start that one again. So 10,000 ports, and let's go back and look at this in the meantime. So we don't have much. We have the imports. We have this little type that we created a struct here, and then we have a little constant. We have our debug variables. Then we have the arguments parsing here. And we're not using the built-in ones because we want control later to do exact the thing we want. And the built-in is quite limited. There's something you can include for that. So then we have the scan part, which is what is run with Go. Here, Go scan port and scan this thing. And then it will send the messages back to the message channel that we then later listen on and get the messages back in the next loop. So here's the send loop. Start the coroutines and they will send the messages back that we don't even start to listen to until we have sent all of them, all 70,000. And yeah. Alright, plus plus works too. Why did I do plus equals 1 now? So we can just plus plus it. So let's just plus plus. So I think that is like doesn't work in Python, and my brain is a bit Pythonified. So learn. So we just plus plus all of these. So what I don't think works is to remove the bird wings, right? Go can't do this, which C could. C could do this, but they would have a semicolon telling it where it ends, right? So this doesn't work. It needs the bird wings. Expected boolean, found simple statement, missing parentheses around. Yeah, so it doesn't get it. So we need these. We could put them on the same line, but when I save, right, if I did this with all these lines, because I would be happy to do that, it will just hop it back. So it's not worth even the work to do that. I don't know if it will fix that too. Yeah. So the prettifying of what I've installed there, it fixes it to be that way. But it also added import and it also removes them. When I just added it and started continue typing, it's like, oh, it's gone. Oh, it's because I control S all the time. So it's in the backbone. So let's continue. We didn't actually do anything today, but this now. Now we need to change these fours here. Actually, um, this is too big. This is too big for me, right? Uh, if this wasn't debug output, I would just make a function for it because I don't want main to be more than a page. Possibly a little more. My tea is out. I do have Coke though. It's not the same. It's not as good. And the squiggles on main is just because we have several mains of the red ones here. So it's not just that when I try to run it, if I didn't mess with it, it wouldn't be able to run it. But it's aware enough to make these red as errors. So why are these red or marked? So why does it have 5? That's what I'm thinking of. Well, I want to arrow back, but I can't because it can't do it. So we saved over with one of the tiny ones, right? Maybe not that tiny. Was a Yeah, that was 1,000 ports, no errors. Just the normal output and the debug. We should have a debug one too, right? If debug, but later. Now we fix the actual thing, make it actual better, right? Now let's not start all these things like a crazy person and get the messages after sending 70,000 things. Because it could not be formed because system lacked sufficient buffer space or because a queue was full. That's what we get. Insufficient buffer, I call it. And then we get timeouts too, but that could be just because the server is busy. Let's actually test something. Did I add time? It probably removed it because I don't have it on. So I did have time here, right? Time now, time hour. So go. It might not even be in there. Pause maybe. How do I add pause or delay? No, 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 no. Sleep. Time sleep. Yeah, it's time. I think I saw it before. Yeah, yeah, yeah. We had a lot of time dot minute times and stuff before the code we looked at. Yeah, definitely. So why does it keep using the same one? I'm going crazy for that actually. It's so annoying. It didn't used to. It used to just open a million tabs. I miss it. Probably a setting. Probably made a setting of it. So uh, it can be annoying to close them, but if you want something to be open, is there like a keep this tab thing? So let's see. We open this one. We don't edit anything. We could just put a space in it and we would get it open forever, but that's not what I want. Can I have like don't, yeah, pin. So now it's pinned. Now I can hop to other stuff, which isn't executable, but yeah, but I don't want it there. I wanted it there. So now it won't override it again and again and again. So if we want to unpin it, is it unpinned already? Let's see now. So the pin disappeared, I think, when I moved it. So if I click time go now, no, it's still there. So I have to close it myself now. Let's test that. So close it, open it, open another one. Yeah, so now it's back to behaving like it is, and we can pin it. Yeah, oh, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So QQ solve. Oh, right, it's pinned here again. I'm like, this is the wrong place. I wanted to go to this. Um, so the pause. What I'm going to add is just a simple pause here, right? To see how this makes it do. So that was it adding time. We topped and added time to the end. But I've tried changing the order of these and it sorts them according to alphabet, which is also annoying, but it's, I guess I get. So time dot second, I know this. Time dot and second is case, and then we can do like time something. We could probably do time dot millisecond, right? So millisecond times 100. Let's wait 100 milliseconds because it's several times, right? And see if we can make it with 20,000, which definitely got timeout, right? Even 15,000, but let's do 20,000. So save, it fixes I didn't put any spaces there. So we do 20,000 now. And I think we T this. We T it to output 3. Yeah, that's good. I want to overwrite that one. And this time we do 20,000. And we're not getting the error for 1, for 0. So this is a reasonable thing. So we want to have clear examples of it failing before we fix it, right? And this is to see, will it get timeout still, even though we add a delay, which we will have to wait forever now. 20,000 times. It wasn't that slow. So it's getting the responses now, meaning it sent all the things, did all the delays. So I need probably to add more time. So we didn't get any timeouts now. We didn't get any insufficient buffer count either. And we were probably still quicker than Nmap, but what else? So let's go with the whole 70,000 and see if we don't get any buffer, then that will be problematic or very odd. If time makes it not get a buffer. So because my buffer is, yeah, let's do 40 first. I'm just thinking this will all take time, you know? Yeah, we'll have to live with that. So now it is currently pausing for, I guess it's just 10th of a second, but it's still 30,000 times in one. Well, it's sending them. And then the price will be queued in a long queue that we have dimensioned before, so it should be there and should be available and should work. We're just not getting the responses until it starts printing them here. So now we're getting them as quick as it can. It's already done with all the scans when it starts with us, probably. So we're getting all the actively refused. Did you see anything else? This is all just working with a little delay. I don't like using delays though, so this is not the final solution. We're going to do a pretty smart thing instead. But if this works, then it will like solve all the problems, functional problems. So it's sending all the scans. While it's not printing anything out, it's still sending all the scans. Then it's receiving all the messages, which will be 70,001, which we are keeping in memory. And this should be like a bit more than double the lost weight. It feels longer though. Let's grab something to drink. Then we're going to learn how to make this smarter. Yeah, so this is very slow. There it did. Finish. So if it would have been Nmap, it would have been doing that for much, much more time, right? Also, it does other stuff, right? So this is just a basic, can I make a connection or not? It's trying to make a connection, TCP connection. If it can, it can. It can. Our Proxmox server crashed. That's why we have not got anything up. So let's hop back to it. Let's actually start a little Proxy one. So you can see it started. It was not closed. It crashed. So all the bulk start. They say this computer is starting. So it crashed at 1926. So we haven't done anything with the VM on for 2 hours. Here it also probably it started here and it started here. And this was when I actually started it. No, right, we were messing with it a bit. Yeah. So let's open the Spice. I'm thinking we can listen on a lot of ports on one of the VMs on that computer, so it's not mine. I think it's cheating to use the same PC. You know, can't really know the speed if it's not going over the network at all. It's a Brad. Hmm. Let's go back to Go. So we got invalid port count. That's the only thing we got. So it scanned all ports. This plus this were the valid ports. The ones that was not valid, the ones over the correct number of ports that exist. This is 70,000, 69,999, and so on, you know. So we do have an output. So here we start getting mixed. Hmm. And I'm saying them right here, right? Hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, that was long ago. I didn't finish that. Actually. So that'll be fun. So now we have Kelly started, and I should zoom myself out a bit. So where am I typing Kelly now? Kelly. So I'm kind of thinking we want to have more open ports, right? We want them to be a little bit spread all around so we can see if this actually works. Then we of course still need to fix it, but it works then, and it's harder to test for if it's better. We should have a time count. We should count the time. That's how we'll know. Dirt on my screen. So 61,000. Oh, I didn't type L. 55,000. Boring parts, I know. I guess we do this, continue this, right? Uh, so I should really have closed it so I don't have to type it every time. 35,000. Uh, 24,000. Let's mix it up. Right, so we have 61, 55, 35, 24. 12,000. 6. So that's enough. I remember its IP. So it is 184. And we do all of them, right? We T2 4. type it for. One to 70,000. So this is what we got. They will all be connected, and it's not done this one. So no 61 and no 55 yet. Oh, there we got it there. And there. So they're all disconnected now. Connect, disconnect. Makes it close. Hmm? So now we get the output. And we'll see a little list. Hmm. Maybe I should turn off this debug output. It's probably taking more time. Let's do that. So it's just a variable name. Maybe a constant. Why did I use it? Maybe there. I'm like, maybe I should go sleep. So variables false. So next time we will not get those lines there. So we got the correct answer with one thing. We had 5 open ports here. So we're not actually listing the ports. Right, we need to list the ports. Why am I selecting everything? Because in Linux you have to shift while you page up, and I do it here, and then it goes like funny, you know? Yeah, we need to run this again. We need to add the port information, uh, which we will see it now though. Actually abort that because we need to actually start these again. So, or nothing is open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're listening on 5 parts. Let's one more. Let's do one more. So NC. um. 1, 2, 3. There. So now let's actually clear this and run it again. And we don't want to T this. I guess we did last time. So, so now it doesn't have to print all the messages, it will just receive them and count, which should be quicker than printing everything. So maybe it have a like getting messages, and we should have a timer, right? So I can see here that it's doing stuff. That one is disconnected. That one did. That one did. That one is still listening. And this one too. So it's interesting to see that it actually, we have the lowest number here. Second lowest. Lower. Lower. Now that one stopped. And this one is going to be just before we get our responses. There we got the messages. So we can see when it started printing the messages because that's 123, right? It's just the start. We don't get any errors. We can scan all the ports. This basic mega symbol connect disconnect scan. So before we start doing funny things like just really not really connecting, right? Because I want to learn how to do that, of course. Send the detailed packets. So now I'm tabbing in the VM. So tab here instead. So it works too well. We need time. We have time. So let's just Google time action go. So no, not really. Let's see what it says. Yeah, begin time. This is what they want to do, and they're asking how to do it. Oh, so they actually just didn't. Time sense beginning time. Oh, that's pretty. So I'll just clean that up in Notepad quickly. So first we need to at our start of the scan here. Let's actually do the start of main. Yeah, we know that begin time is not used. It's because we're just adding it. Isn't it enough to make it gray? Does it have to be squiggly too? And then at the very end of our debug output, there we're going to do end time. And this was so simple, so we don't even need to do anything. We just need to print F instead and add some comments. And yeah. Uh, so, oh, I did a dash instead of a dot. So, and I was going to print F it. And I did do lowercase. So that time it didn't do two of them. Maybe because it was squiggly. And when I save, it will hop that. So you need the space there, obviously. Well, I'm not sure I agree. I kind of think it's pretty. Start time. And go time format output. Time. multiple times. Doesn't have to do with time. Follow some times. Run at the time. Yeah, this is not time. How to format current time using one of the date string thingies. So, oh, t.format. Go uses the following constant. I was like, do I have to add this? To format date, refer here. So give me an example. Ah, look here. So as this is an sprintf, I'm sure we can just grab this here. We'll see if I'm correct in being sure. So let's try that. That kind of didn't work because I had that character left there. So guess we do this again. And time. Time. So let's say like total time. That's better. So um, this will not, of course, do anything because we didn't open the ports again. So nothing will be open. So missing. Yeah. End time. Yeah. Extra term duration. Okay. I did just a percent character there. No. So it took 2 seconds. We can read that out. So the printf. So first of all, let's add some backslash n's, right? Because they were forgotten by me. And I didn't do any formatting here. And in the example that I cut from, we do have these, right? All the information. So we need those because we can just have one. And there's lots of %ds here. So wrong place. So year didn't exist. Okay, time duration. Yeah. Um, let's do that here. So what we want is minutes and seconds. So in other words, we just did an S somewhere. And I can think we can skip these. If it goes days, you know. Uh, yeah, it's the dot. It breaks it. 2 seconds. So what did I do? Right, right. I have these here still. Yeah, so I noticed the T there too. So let's just see what this looks like. I should probably just do something myself. Yeah, this is crappy. There are floats I'm doing. Not D, it's saying. Isn't it? You can't do this, but it's not an error. Um, so first of all, let's comment these out. They're not really important, but I did it again. I did it again. This time I saw the squigglies and got like end time. All right. So we didn't actually use end time since we used time sense. So let's just see, where did I? So let's say an F here instead, right? Let's say answer 2 like it had. I'm kind of thinking that's a more reasonable thing. I'm just guessing. It shouldn't take that long. So we get a value of how many hours and minutes it was, even though that's not really what we're after, right? It probably means that seconds will go over 60 without a problem too. So we can just do this. And if it is 300 seconds, let's make a bigger scan. But let's do this first again. And I'm gonna hop over here and actually start these up when it's finished there. So they're all listening again. And let's start a full one. So 70 ports that are not listening. And if we do again, I guess we do 65, 600. So we have a reasonable amount of extra ones to test that, but we don't have to go crazy about it, right? So it saw it once the 123 was closed. So let's follow it here as it goes. So the this one is still listening. It will connect and disconnect. Then we have the next one. I didn't realize you could scroll with this. That was not on purpose. I wanted to see if I could scroll up in the window. So maybe I should make like, if it's a port number over the top, you know, I will complain. Yeah, so we're about to get some outputs. It found the open ports. We have 5 tabs, and the rest were refused. And it took 60 seconds to scan all ports with delays. So I do need to try another thing. Let's do half the delay of it. Just see how much this will affect things, right? So when we send the request initially, let's do 50 instead of 100 milliseconds. And this is the only change we make. And then we're ready here to start the same scan. And then we go and start all the, make the ports listening again. So we have the exact same, come on, situation like last time. So they're all listening. And we run the scan. You can see also the valid ports, but we have zeros on this one, which is the biggest problem. We have no timeouts, which is also a problem if we get, because then we're like, I think it probably is that they are sent okay, but they're not. It's not internal problems, it's the other side. So anyone that can teach me something about CTFs for a little bit before, oh, the Proxmox server just shut down itself and closed. So the scan won't work. It shut down before it was finished. We'll still get the same number. It doesn't matter much if it was 3 or 5 open parts. What could possibly work though is that it's, yeah. So we got timeouts, all of them, because the machine died. And this is nothing new, it's been crashing. I'm gonna have to do something about this. It's starting again. So this computer was found in the trash. We installed it as Proximo server. It worked for days. Now we have like odd closing down problems. So it might be the trash heap problem. Well, not a trash heap. One of the rooms where you put stuff you wanna, like electronics. So if I have time sensitive things I need to do, I need to have a computer that works better than this. Um, so I'll have to see if I can find something else. This was the best one though. So it might just be something else with it. So let's start with a little Proxley here again. Proxmox Kali. That's what's Proxley. Ooh. So I have several laptops, but they're worse specs. Or I would use them because this one is better than my laptop. It's got 16 gigs of RAM and an i7. So even if it's a very old i7, 26 or somewhere. Come on. So there. Give it enough time to actually start. It's not like we were evil to it or anything. We were sending 70,000 within quite a short time, but it's crashed several times before without doing anything. No. So I don't think that's it. So, yeah, we should just. So this is the only one that's saved. Well, let's go with that. Nice to be able to just actually just arrow up now. Hmm. So what did I have lost? 35, 55. 65. So we're listening. Let's move it to the other screen so I can see when it connects. Last time it crashed after 3, and that's why we got this funny timeout here. So let's run the same command and just do it. So 1 connected. It crashed again. So this one we only got 2. So we're actually crashing the machine with us. Or is it just very unstable? Maybe we should just leave it up for a bit. So we can close the VM. So last time it answered on 3. So I don't really think this is the thing. But let's open, let's up the number to 100 again. Because this, it did not crash when we did this before, so if it starts, then... So 100 milliseconds, that's a lot of time. Isn't it? So I'm listening to the Prexmux server start. So connection error. Obviously, as my kid would say, one of them. Well, let's clean up a bit. We might have found better things there. These are the 2 Medium articles with stuff on the Quack Quack. There's that. Alright. Yeah, I just wanted to see what the shipping was. Couldn't tell. Let's actually close it. So, yeah, this is what we're going to look at. Let's actually look at this.
In the last few videos of this course, we've been looking at things like mutexes and channels and buffer channels in order to effectively communicate and to prevent or guard ourselves against the race conditions within our concurrent applications. Now, in this video, we're going to be taking the knowledge we've learned in these videos one step further, and we're going to be looking at how we can implement worker pools within Go. Now, before we go any further, we should really try and understand the concept of worker pools and what advantages they provide us. Now, in other languages, the concept of a worker pool is there to effectively reduce the cost of spinning up new threads every time you have a new action or a new job that you want to process. In Go, the thread model is typically one thread to many coroutines, and the cost of spinning up these coroutines is relatively insignificant compared to the cost of spinning up a thread, so the same reasoning doesn't really apply here. However, worker pools are effective when it comes to trying to limit the number of concurrent processes that we have going on at any one time. And this is great if you're thinking about IO-bound applications or IO-bound operations, where you want to limit the number of IO operations going on at any one time in order to prevent things like accidentally DDoSing a service.
So we
or
do
consuming too
have
much
the other
network bandwidth.
motherboard to test too.
Cool.
But
So
I'm
let's
not
have a look
going
at
to do
the
it
code and try
today.
to implement our own version of worker pools. Now we have some idea as to what they provide us. Now, in this video, we're going to be creating a crawler that's effectively going to crawl a list of URLs and return the status code for those URLs. So the first thing I want to do is define a new site struct.
That's a
And
nice
we'll have a URL type string.
example.
And I'm also going to do a result struct, like so. And this is going to have the status.
So I think this dude had
Next, within the main function,
the
what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a channel, and I'm going to call this jobs. I'm going to use the make keyword channel. This is going to be a type site, and I want this to be a buffer channel with a size or length of 3. And I also want to do the same for the results. So let's do results, make channel result, and again, let's keep the size to 3. So these 2 channels that we've defined here are effectively going to be the ways that we communicate to the workers within our worker pool. Now, we need to instantiate these workers, so let's do that now by using a for loop, and let's say for worker, or W, is equal to 1, and let's limit.
So I'm going to pause that while we hop here, and then we're going to look. I don't want a video. Yeah, here we have it. Code. So I think this is a bit much, but let's copy this. It's a bit long to just copy it all, but I think it's easier to read it in here. That's mostly why I do it. So new file, worker example, and go, paste. So, save. I don't know why they underline. So, function crawl is the one that they will be starting. Go, yeah, crawl. Jobs results. Right. So I remember I looked a bit at this before. So an ID, jobs, and results queue. And they make both channels and send them both in here. And they have a list of URLs. In our case, it's just the numbers, the port numbers. And then for URL sets equal range URLs. So this is a nice way of seeing how to make a inner list loop. So I'm gonna grab this and add it to my variables notes. So I middle mouse click now because I don't want it to overwrite anything. Though this was new, so I don't think it would, but you never know. So, right. Let's open it in here. Variables. No, not variable structure. For infinite loop. And then here we want to have no, actually before infinite. Nah. So, for each, it's usually called in simple things, right? For each loop. And that's what I can't do on my laptop. I can't make one of these code blocks. So I need to check what it is here. And then we have a laptop on the floor waiting for me to find it. So go. And well, let's paste it like that instead. Let's call it stuff. And let's something. Something else. And whatever in here, right? And I can see there's a comma on the line of the last line, so we don't have to do anything special, just delete one. And range stuff, right? And then let's just do so let's just do the same as we do in the last one, like fmt dot print line, no, printf look, comma, so now I'm like, is it s backslash n, comma, URL. So cool. I'm just thinking of this. Let's actually do this quickly. go for each. So for index element equals range sum slice. So there's also an index. Key value, the map. Yeah, I was kind of thinking this would be like, if this would be a function returning something, we could have two values. But why would the, if it is an index as default, right? I can get that over a slice, over a map, over a channel. So we can even do it on a channel. We can do it on a channel. So maybe we can do it better than they can in a better way. Over a channel is equivalent to receiving from a channel until it is closed. So we already like got something better. That's cool. Unless we receive until stuff and then never close it. So this might be worse than what we had. For index element. Yeah. Yeah, so let's actually call it like index or something. I love how everybody answers. Action range fun. Let's not go there yet. So let's call this index.
VR Mechatronics says, "Hey, how is going?"
Yeah, it's good. How are you, VR? Everything good? How's your building going? And finding parts? So, so let's actually look at the jobs now. So we get, let's see, site. Unlike site. So site is one of them. Site is one of the types used for, it's a type used for the jobs. Okay, so here we're just making them. So why? Okay, so we're converting the URL to site, or what? Site URL string. Why not just use a string? Because they might want to add something later. Because I actually used, I didn't see that anywhere. I just thought that the struct, as I can only send one thing, and I wanted to send several, I use a struct. So that was very nice that it just worked. From what that we read about structs in the basic variable stuff. So I'm going there again. So let's go to Obsidian for these because they're not very pretty readable. So I had written down about how structs worked.
I
For
learning English
example.
again, because I forget a lot in Denmark.
Okay, okay. So, okay. Yeah, you're always welcome in, and I constantly talking. I don't know if my English is very good though. So we have the working example up. We have all the things I think we need. We can probably close this one too. There. And this we need to go back to later. So we're learning Go for the fourth time. Uh, and it's time to make this one a bit more complicated, or rather simple. And I don't really care about those. It's mostly like generally. Uh, let's let's just delete. I can Google it if I want more. So I was like, should I put it? I did make a time file. Nah. No. We have some debug information that we're using here to get some debug output for just for development. And we might keep those later in some kind of verbose format or something. But now, this was a basic start. What do we really want to do before I knew even that much of Go? Oh, oh, what happened? So I just need to make a call quickly. Just called my mom. She didn't answer. So there. Hmm. Oh, so let's continue. Suddenly, I realized I have my desk cam still on with all the things, with the light. So maybe shouldn't have that on still. Let's close it down. There. Let's make sure it didn't just hop here. No, I did not want to do that. I right clicked because I wanted to exit. So, yeah, right, Discord is still up. I'm actually closing down Discord for now. I usually never have it on when streaming. So let's connect back to. Oh gosh,
I
my
visited my
phone.
parents. They went on vacation for a week and I was cleaning their apartment during that time.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Oh, did you meet them too? Maybe, hopefully, right? So visit your parents when they're on vacation. Hope you get a chance to visit them, actually meeting them. Yeah, we're going to the server. I'm like, what was I doing? Where did the tab go? Oh, right, it doesn't have the icon because it's timed out. There, and we need to start and connect again. So when I use the short time, the short delay, well, 50 milliseconds, I don't know if it's short or not, but when I did, it did close down the Proxmox server, right? And that's funny, a bit funny. So I've changed the code and it's actually, this is stopped. So let's just abort and we're ready to go again. Uh, so let's go.
You know they smoke cigarettes and I don't. Everything in the apartment has one smell cap.
Oh gosh. Yeah, I couldn't do that, even for my parents, I think. I die from cigarette smoke. Oh gosh. Just thinking of it makes me want to puke. That's how horrible it is. I don't get why people smoke. It's just crazy. Just crazy. Dangerous and horrible too. But people do it sometimes. My grandma used to. She was alive. So we're starting this thing up again. This time, let's give it a few minutes before we do anything. But I'm thinking that we will start listening to make sure that that's not what happened, right? So I just wanted to see the time for this, and since I changed it back, it's not really interesting anymore.
It's good that it's warm from the North Sea in night Kappa.
Uh, yeah, so we have outside it's 6 degrees and inside it's 28.5. So it's a bit warm in here. So I need to be able to sleep later. So this, just listening. So so this is what I did last time, and then it crashed like almost as soon as I had them up because I started the scan at once with 50 milliseconds between each port, and I did 70,000 almost ports, right? This is how many I did. Um, so I did abort it, but it didn't get aborted because it was already finished. Anyway, it crashed after this one, so we should have a lot of timeout again. Yeah, and here it also crashed.
My dad has a nice basement and I'm thinking of moving my tools there for 2 to 3 years.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Do they also live in Denmark? So I'm not starting this yet. So I want to make sure what is crashing it if it would crash. That is what I'm doing to it. Not that it's just
Yes,
started.
they are pensionist.
Okay, nice. So it's close by. So let's actually close that and hop back here and go back a little bit. Uh, so we looked at the code he's going to write. Do we really need to see the video too? Maybe. And my throat hurts. And it's almost 23. It's like I have a CTF in 13 hours. I should sleep too. There's the code. So it's listening, it's not crashing, right? I changed the times so that it worked. Um, total time, you can see here it was long because I guess it was waiting. I don't know. So we can see that the number of seconds is very high. So maybe we'll have if number of seconds is above a certain number. So it's closed that connection. This one, there, this one. So it's connecting and disconnecting the closest the netcode listening. So it's going through all the ports now with 100 millisecond delay again. Yeah, so my mom lives close by. I'm going to actually be there when she meets her sister for the first time in so many years on Sunday. So there's 6 siblings, uh, which is not very common. I guess it was more common back then, but I think 6 is a bit a lot of kids. They had a lot of kids. So we got refused connection. They're all closed except for the 6 open ones, which were correctly discovered here. And invalid port count 15 because I lowered it from, it was 65 before, so I lowered it 50. So I want a few of those. I want something there, but not a lot because it will take time. And the time was 62 seconds for the scan of all parts. So I guess we just run it again, changing the code, starting all of them up again, listening. And we're not going down to 50 this time. I just want to make a tiny change now. See if this is actually what crashed the machine. Now we're debugging the machine instead of writing Go code. I'm sorry. So if I can crash my Proxmox server by sending network scans, that's not very good, is it? like totally crashed. It closed, totally closed down. So we're going to let's lower it a little bit. So not go 50. 50 is what killed it. So let's go 90, right? 90 it is. Save, and we'll see how this works. So I'm just going to hop by all the tabs, making sure they're all listening. And then we run this. And we hop over here and we see that one. Okay. I'm so tired, I need to go sleep. But I want to see this first if the computer crashes. So we will probably not do the. I really want to do it though. But if I really need to start coding, then I'm gonna be like, oh, 2 hours happened, right? Come on. Oh, it already did it. I'm like blind. I looked away and I didn't see the movement. 55. So this will be okay, I'm sure. And I haven't heard this server closed down yet either. So last one, yeah, they're closed. We got the ports and it all worked fine. We have the same count, right? Almost the same count. So this delay change didn't change much, right? It's not really a big difference. I don't want to delay, of course, later, but not for now. This is test to see. 50 it crashed the computer. Let's actually do 50 again. Let's go with 60. I don't know why I did 60, but it felt right. So we need, of course, to start the listening, so we know that something is working, that is connecting, that is we have some status, we have some ports defined, making sure that it actually works, not just sending messages into space. So we can see all the open ports here, the ones I'm listening on Netcat. You can see them here. So all 6 found, even though they're spread out with all the 65,000 ports, right? So I'm gonna run that, and we're gonna check here again, like to close this down. And this is about how long it got with 50. Then it closed the whole Proxmox server, not the VM, the Proxmox server. So that one's closed. I'm not sure there's a connection. More exciting than usual to do a port scan when your computer might just die on you. So it's still going. So this was 35, so we have 20,000 in between here. These are just 10,000, so here it's 20,000. Oh, so we got output now. That should mean that it already sent all the ports. So it shouldn't print anything out. Yeah, it crashed again. But I don't know, I don't think the Proxmox server crashed. Yeah, there it did. So that was like a boot beep. So we crashed it again. We have a timeout count that's very high. But it didn't. Last time it just the fans died. It went quiet.
I need to find a workshop somewhere in Europe with a 2,7 meter high ceiling, a workshop for tools and VR projects.
Yeah, So who's your client then if you need if someone has 2.7 meters high ceiling? Because if you're building something for like a home, then it can't be that high, is it? Or is it that high? Hmm. So we kill the machine again. Let's go here. Connection error, right? There it closed. So for some reason it didn't close at once. So maybe there was something in it that maybe there's some kind of protection in some way. That sounds like an odd protection closing the computer down. Don't DDoS me or I will close all things and die. So I think I have one cookie. It's actually two cookies. I'm just gonna grab half a cookie. I'm not hungry and I really don't want anything, but my throat wants something. So it's not even half a cookie. Mm. It has a 970, uh, 970 um,
You know, I'm
of
looking for
1080.
now the best choice from your abandoned supermarket.
Mm. Yeah, those will have an. Oh, it was done again. Starting. I'm very curious what on earth it's doing. So I found the computer in someone's trash or in like the um, where someone I know used to live before. So it's not new, it's old. I was thinking that I could probably use it for something, but maybe this was not a good use. So, oh, I'm trying to get rid of messages from my phone. Right. Hmm. Let's just check this out while we wait. So it's back up. I didn't even notice. So I'm so tired of drinking Coke now. It's so sweet. Why did I even? I want water. It's all sugar free at least. Well, I guess I'm drinking lots of bad chemicals instead of sugar, but probably better for your teeth. Maybe it's just tummy medicine, alright? So I'm trying to think of all the times when this crashed. So it crashed in the morning when I was not doing anything once. So it just, I was getting up out of bed, I think, and it's just, but it keeps starting every time. So I should have a log that keeps pinging this thing, like every 5 minutes or something, maybe, maybe, maybe have something like that. Maybe um, just ping to file from my local VM that I thought I'd never start again. I guess you could do it from Windows. Um, so Kelly is logging in. Oh gosh, I really so don't want anymore. Why did I get more Coke? It's warm. It is. Oh, water, nice. So during the stream, I can feel that I would have liked to brush my teeth long ago. But I have not for 9 hours and 43 minutes. All right. So it's starting to get time, even though we're not where I would have liked. But if we go over 10 hours, so I'm not gonna stop now, but I want to check out if anyone's online. No, I'm not even online. So the site is off again. It used to work well. I don't know what happened. Before some time back, it didn't work again. So I don't know why. Sometimes it just doesn't notice you going online. Hmm. Anyway, I'm not the craziest streamer right now. I'm just a second place. Not streaming the most. I guess not streaming this week did help, right? Nah, I don't mind being the craziest one streaming the most. But we don't have anyone here, so let's just mute the tab. And hello, 10 people. Let's see. Do we have anyone? I mean, it's not working for me. We might have someone on. We'll see who we'll do later. Who will raid. I'm not gonna do like music. And a lot of these are people who have raided, and I'm like following people I don't even know who it is really. So I have a lot of music ones that I don't know. So we raided the same reference like twice or something. We'll see who's online in a bit. Let's hop back. So this is up, and we can see all the restarts. So this is the start of it. And that's starting the VM. So it's been up now for like 4 minutes. And last time it crashed and started was this, and before that this, right? So I've been evil. Let's not do that again. Let's see if it works fine if we don't send a lot of packets. So obviously it has 2 network cards, I think. So maybe the other one is better. I think they have different chips. So can we see about the hardware of the physical machine here? Network. So active, yes, no. So what happens if I switch the cable? And what can we see about this thing? Right, there's might be updates. Yeah, it's also refreshed as a update. Download. I think it's the list. Yeah, there are a few files. Why not? I usually prefer doing it in the prompt, but that's not a lot either. And it crashed, so we want it to be updated. And we have the no subscription one. So what can we do with the code in 10 minutes? So we have an example, and we have what we want to fix. And let's put this one back to 100 there. So it didn't crash with 100, it crashed with 60 and 50. So maybe I was just at a good spot with it, though I definitely don't want this there. And let's remember the right comment type. So remove later for testing. So what happened when I added this line is we got from, let's hop to the bottom. We got from having invalid port count here. Now this buffer, insufficient buffer count, to having good numbers. I don't know how old this one is. Oh, look. Haha, that's the one that crashed where I aborted. Yeah, so we're supposed to get closed only, and this is the invalid because we did a up to 70,000 on this one. So we have a lot of ports that are not actually ports. So this one is an okay result. This means we told it to do port 70,000, which doesn't exist, and is an invalid port. This is the number of closed port, and here we have the open ports. So this is with this line there, and this one is without it. So here we can see that we got 5 open ports, still worked. But if they had been in other places, like, I don't know why we got 5 here, because this was, yeah, these are early. They're in the 1001 first ports, all of them. That's why it works. That's why we started using the Kali machine. But otherwise, we wouldn't have had it actually hit the ports because we run out of buffer. So we didn't get these errors. These are from the ones that worked. Let's scroll up to an operation non-Saki cannot be firm because the system lacked insufficient buffer space or because the queue was full. So that's what happened when we didn't have any delay at all, and we do use this stupid way of doing it, right? We're not waiting for the replies. We're just sending 70,000 things at once in a whole bunch from start port to stop port. Nothing, no wait, nothing. Then yeah. So right. I'm thinking. Let's just read this. Let's read this. Finish it. I think it kind of. I got something interrupted me. Um, for site range jobs, we put this in as a for each in. Right, and also this confirms that we don't need the comma that I added into notes. So let's structure. Uh, so let's just grab this. That works too, but or and go. So we have both versions there with an index. If we might want the index too, you know, it's nice to have knowing which iteration you're on. It can be useful. Yeah, so we're actually on 53 minutes, and I want to go over 10 hours stream. I think it's time because the raid takes a few minutes too, right? So it's done with the update. Kernel upgrade. Please consider rebooting. So we'll reboot later. Of the stream. And the Veeam is happily running along here now without us. When we're not sending too many messages too quickly. So I'm just gonna see if